that we're living in the final part of the last days, undoubtedly the final part of the final part of the last days, shortly before the last day of the last days.
Shut up!
So the question is not whether what Stephen Lett said is true, is we are already with capital letters in the new system right now as we speak. We are living in it today. How is that possible?
Well, the theory posed about we're living in the new system already. It's what the Jehovah's Witnesses have preached for the 150 years, their history, about the end of the nation states, one world government, and no Christmas, an inferior Jesus, a love for the United Nations, a disobedience of the nation state, and adherence to mandates and protocols. So really, we're in a new system. We're living in a new system. This is what the world, the new normal that we're living in now, is what a world looks like when the Jehovah's Witnesses are in charge.
Correct. So the Jehovah's Witnesses preach a new system, and it's here. We have a government that's no longer formed by the people. It's governed by mandates.
Yeah, like New Light.
Yeah.
So let's say a doctor working for the federal government has a new idea, and screw the Constitution. Like to quote the great Arnold Schwarzenegger, "Screw your freedom."
And not just to think about, well, my freedom is being kind of disturbed here. No, screw your freedom, because with freedom comes obligations and responsibility.
There's no such thing as law, so we're living in an era of lawlessness. Correct. That's why I say it's a new system. Yeah. We're living in a new system where we used to be a system of laws, people of laws. We're not. We're a nation now, a people of protocols, mandates, fear. And do you remember when you were a little kid as a Jehovah's Witness, the fear you used to have of Armageddon?
Correct.
And that's what we're seeing now. So what I'm saying is that if you can imagine what it would be like all the Jehovah's Witnesses running the world, that's what we have today in 2022.
Correct. And it's only going to get better, because this thing that they're talking about, universal basic income, that's paradise on earth, where everybody gets the same paycheck, on the first of the month. Everybody gets a universal basic income, and everyone's working in paradise earth for the common good.
Yeah, and you know what? Question 2 kind of goes hand in hand with question 1, or statement number 1, and it's an example of how we're living in the new system. If you can imagine a Jehovah's new system, the elders, what would they behave like? Well, look at 2021. The cops go into in New York Police Department, go into a pizza parlor, and they harass little children having a birthday party, asking for their COVID proof of their vaccination.
Correct.
And in that video, it was viral, came out a couple of days around New Year's, and they broke up a little birthday party in New York Police. The New York Police Department broke up a birthday party with the children. And those children will be scared for the rest of their life. I know, because I'm 53 years old, and I was scared constantly about 1975 in the Paradise Lost, Paradise Regained by my big brother. But I remember a lot of my childhood, I didn't sleep at night.
Okay,
I could not sleep.
So this is how it works. So we're living in a new system today where police officers are now going up and breaking up people's birthday parties, and they're and just like the elders, they could care less about reason. If you show a police officer and you try to reason with him, there is no reason with him. Whereas before, the police officer, back in, say, 2019, would say, I'm not going to go break up a birthday party.
Right.
But the rules have changed.
There's no violence. The only thing is that the mayor's mandate on the protocol, on the vaccination, was violated.
Correct.
And so they were enforcing that. Yeah. But here you have no birthday party. But isn't it a coincidence that the police department attack a birthday? And that's what I'm saying. The institutions that are being attacked are the institutions that the Jehovah's Witnesses have always railed against.
Mm-hmm.
Because look at Dr. Fauci's talking that you can't go to New Year's Eve, you can't go to Thanksgiving, you can't go to Christmas. That sounds just like the Jehovah's Witness.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
I mean, it's just a big coincidence is that all the things that Jehovah hates, the new system hates also.
Correct.
For example, look at the First Amendment right to freedom of association. A lot of these world leaders are telling us we can't associate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Jehovah's Witnesses don't associate either. They go by Zoom.
Correct.
Is this a coincidence?
So the world right now, if you're not a Jehovah's Witness, you're living a Jehovah's Witness world come true. The Jehovah's
Correct.
Witness teaching, the whole Jehovah's Witness life has now gone on steroids.
And that's what I'm saying. If you want to live in Jehovah's paradise, look no further than New York City in 2021.
So here's the question: Jehovah does not need a new system. He has the New York City Police.
Yeah.
So
or any other city where there's tyrants
correct.
running the place. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so Jehovah now tells us not to celebrate birthdays, tells us not to celebrate a New Year's, and now the New York City Police Department is breaking up birthday parties, and is going to and like you said, the new world that we're living in is attacking everything that Christianity stands for. Is attacking marriages, is attacking families, is attacking even gender, right, of man and woman. And
correct.
Now, there's one thing it's interesting about the Jehovah says does not need a new system. He has a New York City Police Department. It's interesting that all this stuff is happening in New York City. A lot of this is happening in New York City.
Correct. And New York State.
And New York State. What other coincidence do we have with Jehovah and the state of New York?
Well, here's the thing. Around 2010, maybe 2011, or probably later.
Mm-hmm.
But right about the time that Donald Trump was entering national politics, the Jehovah's Witnesses decided to leave town.
Mm-hmm.
And so my question is, what did they know and when did they know? You know, do the Jehovah's Witnesses, do they have advance? Are they getting their information? You know how, like, politicians, they can't get insider information, or big corporations, if there's going to be a stock devaluation or a stock drop, and somebody had insider information and they sell all their stock. Well, that's illegal. What I'm saying is, we knew New York was going to fall into tyranny. Did the Jehovah's Witnesses know about this? And that's why they left New York City? I don't know. Mm-hmm. That's what the question is. What did they know and when did they know? But it sounds, it's too much of a coincidence that the Jehovah's Witnesses, they were even preaching about the go bags. And don't ask any question. They knew something was happening. I don't know what it was, but they wanted to get the heck out of New York City.
No, screw your freedom.